Hey, all you zombie fans, this is Matt Jarba, host of The Zurvivalist, and I'm here with Justin from Kansas City. Now, Justin, you are the creator of Dead Weight.
Yeah, I'm a co-creator along with my collaborator Eric.
Now, what is the show about?
Well, Deadweight is a web series that's set here in Kansas City, and it stars a guy named Adam Aldred, and he's kind of spent his life preparing for his adult life, preparing for the collapse of society, kind of like a Mad Max scenario. Everybody goes crazy when the government can no longer take care of them, so they start rioting and looting, and he's going to hold up in his apartment building and be just fine. Only instead of that, the zombie apocalypse occurs, and he's kind of screwed. The
That's
uh, the tagline for the whole series is "What if you prepared for the wrong apocalypse?" So
interesting.
yeah, it's fun. We kind of tease people a lot through the first season. It's 6 episodes, and our number one comment throughout the series was, "Well, where are the zombies?" And by the time we got to the end of the episodes, everyone's, okay, well, there they are. Good, good. Um, and I think now they're understanding that season two is just going to be chock full of zombie madness.
Well, that's what us zombie fans all love. So, okay, so you have a lot of experience writing about preparing for a zombie invasion. Now, let's find out how you'd use it in the case of an actual event. So, I'm going to ask you the million-dollar question, Justin. How would you survive a zombie outbreak?
Honestly, I really doubt that I would. I have serious doubts that I would make it very far. Um, I'm not a great runner. I don't have a lot of upper body strength. I think that my philosophy would very much kind of be like Adam's, where I would look around and say, well, okay, how do I get away from these things? So I would want to get away from populated areas and pray to God I find a military base that hasn't been overrun. I think that would be kind of my big survival plan per se.
Now, do you
Um,
think that if you came across a military establishment that was that was maybe not overrun but occupied, would you like just skip it and continue moving, or would you go and be like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
Now, if it was occupied by zombies or occupied by the
Oh no, I mean
military.
occupied by maybe not so much military, but just humans, like actual, honest to God, live humans, not Walking Dead.
Well, it depends. I'd like to check it out, but my honest belief is that I would be more frightened of some of the survivors than necessarily the zombies. I mean, I know what the zombies want. The zombies want to eat me and turn me into a zombie. I don't know necessarily what the agenda for the survivors would be, so I would approach it with trepidation, um, feel it out, but also be ready to get the hell out of there if need be.
Okay, so you what if okay, so let's say you're past that. You go there, it's overrun by zombies or human killing humans, and and you're on your own again. What do you think you would end up doing?
Well, I would want to head north, I think. I kind of think that humans have a better way of adapting to cold climates than the undead. I think that that would slow them down a bit. So I'd want to try and head north.
Now, well, as we said earlier, because before in our pre-show talk, the sliding scale of zombie movement versus rigor mortis. Do you think that that would play into effect? Like fresher zombies would be able to adapt to the cold better than older?
Yeah, in fact, showing some of the cards for season two, we definitely play on that fact that the longer you've been dead, the harder it is for you to move, the less dangerous you are, sort of. Um, so I definitely think that the longer the zombie apocalypse goes on, um, the slower the zombies would become. I think initial outbreak is what's going to be scary beyond all reason, and then once you adapt to the fact that yes, these are dead people walking around eating other people, you can maybe get over that and start to strategize and think, okay, I got to get away from the slow moving guys. I'd be better off with them than I am the freshly killed. Um, so I think colder climates would be better for you, less populated areas, because there will be fewer new people for the infection to get to.
Of course. So let's so you're I mean, heading north. I mean, would you head like Canada or just northern U.S.? Like, I mean,
No, I, I
just
I think Canada would be a great place to go. One, because Canada, given the fact that they have more of uh, a public healthcare system, they might actually be a little bit more well prepared for dealing with an outbreak than the United States would be. Max Brooks has that awesome book, World War Z, that I'm sure everybody listening to this is familiar with. But he talks about how prepared Israel was for the zombie outbreak and how like that was one of the only nation states to hold it together. And I really think that the closest thing we have in our hemisphere to that is Canada. So
Well, plus Canada only, I mean, has what, like 40 million people versus the 360 plus million here in the States?
right, and there's large areas that are not densely populated. So I definitely think that would be the way to go. You can maybe find some houses that have been abandoned, try and live off the land. In my version of the zombie apocalypse, the animals aren't infected, so you might be able to live off of the land. Now, if they are infected, you're kind of screwed. You're
Yeah,
not going to have
true. I
a
mean, in
good
most zombie, mythos, there's always the animals never get infected. In fact, the zombies pay them no mind. Um, well, let me ask. That kind of leads me to my next question: is foraging skills? What do you have in the way of like? Can you hunt? Can you fish? Can you use a non-motorized can opener? Things like that.
Yeah, no, I can use a non-motorized can opener. I've not the greatest fisherman in the world. I've got pretty good aim. I'm not a hunter with a gun. I'm not a big weapons guy. I don't have a stash of weapons that I'm going to be able to carry with me. But I do understand basic physics. I do understand construction of a bow. I can make a fire. I can cook food. I camp. My girlfriend and I go camping quite a bit. So I don't necessarily think I'd be completely screwed in that area. But then again, I'm not exact. I would put my skills more on the level of red green than um, Grizzly Adams.
I see, and nice job in dropping the red green reference here. For those of you at home who don't know who red green is, YouTube him. He's hysterical.
Oh, it's good
Uh,
stuff.
it's great stuff. I mean, I'm an Oregonian, so I know red green.
Keep
Um,
your stick on the ice.
pretty much. So okay, let's say so you've survived like um, a year or so, right? Because I agree with you on the idea that eventually the zombie infection will die out because it has no choice. It's like fire needs air to continue moving to feed it, and zombies need flesh, but they also have the flesh working against them because their bodies are dying. So,
Yeah.
like, let's say it's been a year, so you've been like kind of secluded, you've been able to survive, and then you hear societies like there's like a new civilization opening up nearby. Would you be wary and go in, or would you just go, oh, screw it, let's go and try to I need human contact maybe, or I want to like this might be safer.
Oh, I would definitely approach with caution, but I would without a doubt approach. My degree from school is in political science, so I'm fascinated by the way people work with each other. And one of the big thrusts for Dead Weight and the hope is that eventually, as we build on the seasons, we see societies forming through survivors, and we get to interact with that and see it through our lead character's eyes. And that is, to me, going to be absolutely fascinating. I think living through it would be terrifying, but also hopeful. I would like to believe that through this apocalyptic nightmare, some of the best elements of humanity would come forward. That's my hope. And I definitely think that if I was in Canada, that would happen.
Well,
They're
Canadians are
just really
generally
nice people in
Yeah,
Canada.
see, there we go, right? Yeah, we all say the same thing. Canadians are nice people. Not that Americans aren't nice people, but Canadians are just like really nice.
It's true. They're overly nice, almost too nice.
Yeah, they leave their doors unlocked at night for you. That's just how they are. They have a
Yeah,
spare
you
bed
keep
for any, Yankee that wants to come up there.
you keep waiting for them to ask you for money or something.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'd be great to go in a zombie apocalypse. But they'd also probably be the first to go in a zombie apocalypse because they would be, they'd be really nice and think, oh, it's a wounded person. We must help them, and then it would, it works against them at the same time. So we are definitely running low on time. This episode has gone by very quickly. So Justin, I have to ask you, what would you do if you were bit?
If I was bit, I would go off into the woods to die. I'm not brave enough to kill myself. I know that. I wouldn't be able to do that. But I would also not want to, if I was with other people, infect them. So I'd take off into the woods.
You would just go off into like the sunset.
I'd go off in the sunset to die. I'd wear my cowboy hat and I would go off into the sunset to die.
Nice. Nice. Well, now, if you were in Canada, you could just go off in the sunset. You could just go off to like a maze somewhere and freeze to death, like Jack from The Shining.
Yeah.
So we're full of obscure references on this show today. So anyway, that's all the
Same.
time we actually have for this week. Justin, thank you very much for being on the show. And
Oh,
for
thank you
all,
very much for having me.
you're welcome. And for all of you guys at home who have not seen Dead Weight, it's on YouTube. You can find it, or you can go to dead-weight.com. Check it out. Season two's premiering. Like you guys, have you guys started shooting season two yet?
We're going to be shooting season two. It takes place during the winter, so we're going to be filming in October and November, and we're hoping for an early 2011 premiere.
Great. So there you go. Right from the creator's mouth. So all right, all you guys listening at home, we'll see you guys next time here on the show. Justin, thank you again. And also, you guys can get more KZOM information by going to Zurvivalist.com, Facebook.com/KZOM Radio, Twitter.com/KZOM Radio, and you can find all of our information through there. So we'll see you guys next week on the show.